Okay, so we're recording. Thank you for joining us, Alex. We appreciate
Yeah.
you joining. I'm gonna pull up all the questions we've prepared to ask you. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself, like what you do for work.
I work for my dad, How's Excavation. Went to college for a little bit and I didn't like it. Didn't think it was for me. So I left.
So what does your like day to day look like in like
I wake up at 5:30 every morning and get on the road by 6 and I'm at the shop by 6:20 and then I end around 5.
okay. And then what does like your social life, like personal life, like outside of work look like?
I usually get home around 5 and then I get in the shower and then head to the gym or the golf course or anything like that. But
Okay.
that's
And
about
then
it.
what's your like social circle look like? Like who's in your social circle at this
I have
point?
a couple good friends that one of them works for my dad too, and then a couple. Most of them are at college, but when they're home, I usually hang out with them.
Oh. And then what does an ideal social gathering look like for you?
Uh, I would say quiet, peaceful, not a lot of people around, and I'm just not an outgoing person. I get overwhelmed pretty easily, so I like social. I mean, quiet events and stuff.
Okay. And then can you describe a time when you felt particularly satisfied or can you describe a time where you felt particularly satisfied with your social interactions?
Uh, Usually when I'm around my family, it's just way easier to communicate. I feel more confident around family than if I'm out meeting someone new or something. Just find it easier to communicate.
What makes it that like your family makes those social interactions like satisfying?
I'm just very close with them and I just find our like conversations unique and outgoing sometimes, but I feel like we just have a great connection.
So that bond creates that like comfortability for you, like having that strong bond. Okay. Can you describe a time when you particularly felt dissatisfied with your social interactions?
Yeah, I would say when I was at college, I didn't feel like myself, like I didn't feel like I was outgoing or like usually when I'm home and I'm around friends, like I can be myself, but I didn't feel like that when I was there, and I felt like it was time to leave. But being at college was just I don't know, I didn't feel like myself, so I just left.
Can you describe like what your like social interactions look like at like your work life? Like, are you satisfied
Uh,
with this?
yeah, I'm very satisfied. I feel like it's a successful like connection we all have. I feel like we all understand each other and know what each other are like getting at. Like to be successful, like we all like I don't know, kind of like feel each other and like know what our next steps are gonna be, like stuff like that. Like, and if we didn't have that, I feel like the job sites would be a mess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. What platforms or tools do you currently use for socializing?
uh, Snapchat, text. That's about it, really. I don't really use Instagram often or any of that stuff.
How often do you find yourself like using Snapchat for socializing?
All day, pretty much.
What about like text messages?
Every once in a while. I'm not a great communicator. I
So do you
don't
keep
I
going?
don't really go on my phone much, but I feel like Snapchat is just easy to communicate with people,
So do you,
especially friends, because everybody has it.
yeah. Do you think Snapchat's easier for communicating because it is mostly like sending pictures rather than sending messages?
Yeah, and you can see each other's emotions like a lot easier. Like
Oh,
over text, you don't really know. But,
so you like more of like nonverbal communication than verbal communication?
right.
Okay. What do you like about using like Snapchat other than like the nonverbal communication?
I would say just sending pictures and you can send videos and all that stuff. It's just you can I don't know, like text messages is just harder to send videos and pictures. Be kind of weird. I don't know. Not a lot of people do it.
Yeah, yeah. What do you dislike about the platforms or tools that you use for communicating?
What do I just can you say that again?
What do you dislike about using the two platforms you were talking about, text messages and Snapchat?
Like kind of like on Snapchat, you can see where everybody is, and I feel like that's kind of weird. I have mine on ghost mode, so
Mhm.
no one can see where I am, but a lot of people have them like on, so I just feel like you don't really need to know where everybody is.
So you would say like the invasion of privacy.
Yeah, privacy. Yeah.
Okay, okay. What about for text messaging?
Mm, I don't really have any dislikes about it, but another one I like about it is you can like well with Snapchat too, you can communicate with anybody, like any phones, like Androids, like and Apple phones and all that stuff. So easy to communicate.
Yeah. Um, how do you find a new social opportunity or event?
I would say just going out and uh getting yourself out there, kind of meeting new people. And the more people you meet, like they have better connections and to other events and stuff. And I don't know, stuff like that, I guess.
What do you think is like for like how you are with like how you interact socially? Like, what do you think makes you most comfortable going into like new social opportunities or events?
Like, just what was that again?
For like you going into like new social opportunities or events, like how you were saying, like how you are more quiet and resistant to like having new connections and like being dissatisfied with your social interactions. Like, what makes you more comfortable when it comes to new social interactions? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know, I kind of get nervous, but as soon as like I start to meet new people, like I get more comfortable and then just people form around you and you just create more bonds and
Mhm.
all like stuff like that. It's I don't know, it's just nice, I guess. Like meet new people. But,
Do you think it's easier to connect with other people when you have like the same interests and like something like
oh
that?
yeah, 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 definitely. Because then you can just create a longer conversation,
Mm.
find each other.
So if there was like a platform or a tool that like kind of like with the platforms that you were saying, like if there was something like that where it was like you could find people with the same interests, and stuff like that, like do you think that would help you like interact better and
Yeah,
easy?
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I feel like that would be a great tool.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. So after, no, during the pandemic, how did you communicate with people that you loved? Were you around them or were you, how did that?
FaceTime and yeah, I would say like I FaceTime a lot of my friends around. We used to like get on group FaceTimes and just interact with each other and play video games. Because I think I was what 15 at the time. So we communicated on video games and just pretty much played all day because we couldn't
Mhm.
leave the house. So
Yeah. Okay.
How do you think COVID has impacted like how you interact socially like now? Do you think it has affected?
oh yeah, definitely. I feel like I created a lot of anxiety during COVID. Just I don't know. I kind of lost my social skills for a little bit. It was just being nerve-wracking, being around other people, got a lot of anxiety.
No.
But I was put on medication during COVID, and it helped me. So
Has anything helped you like since then, like other than the medication, like with interacting with other people and being in new environments?
here and there, like I don't know, baseball definitely.
Mhm.
Like I played baseball growing up, and last year I went to a private school, and just playing the game and meeting new coaches and their connections with other coaches, talking to all of them over email and on the phone. I don't know, just created, I don't know, I would say just better vocabulary and knowing how to talk to people better.
Jennifer, do you have any other questions?
Um, no, but I can come up with something. How long have we been here?
12 minutes.
Is it, um, let's see. As soon as COVID was over with your friends, did you guys like just jump together or and come out like party together? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, we all got together. We had so one of my closest friends, he has usually has like 20 or 30 people over every time we hang out. And we had a big pool party, and everybody got back together, and that's where everything started to kick off again. And it was just a great time.
Would you say any of like your other friends, like at the time, like how COVID affected you? Did it affect them in the same way, different ways for interacting with others socially?
Yeah, I've had a couple friends that have gone through deep depression because of it, but I feel like they've overcome it just by playing sports and being back interacting with people. But
Yeah. Do you think it was a struggle, like when everything was being hybrid? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like when everything after, like,
oh, like
yeah,
how we were in school and then on Zoom too.
like when our high school went to hybrid.
Yeah, I feel like it was helpful for some people because not a lot of people like to be interactive in person, and they're more comfortable being online than talking over it like we're doing right now on Zoom. I feel
Yeah.
like more people are more comfortable that way, I guess. But I feel like there's disadvantages and advantages for people like that. Just like kind of like me, like I have anxiety talking. Like I'm not the best talker, but
What do you think like those disadvantages are other than like what you're saying, like with anxiety and like having the anxiety with like talking to others?
well, I feel like a lot of people with ADHD won't be able to just sit here all the time. Like during COVID, like a lot of people didn't show up to school because of like being on their laptop all day. Like they can't just sit around, and kind of not fair to them because they have ADHD. Can't sit around for that long. Like at school, you have like gym class, like you can get out and run around and stuff. And after school, you have sports, but sitting at home all day during COVID definitely didn't help.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, let's see. Let's see. I'm
Um,
not sure what else to ask. I'm at a loss for words. Um,
Give me 1 second. Okay. What are some like activities that you miss most from like like how your life was before the pandemic?
Like what activities do I miss?
Yeah. or like how like your lifestyle was before the pandemic? Because you were
I,
very
f- I feel like I was more active before. Actually, I don't know. I've been going to the gym every day, but I was more like involved in my sport. Like before COVID, I was in love with baseball. Like my dreams were set to like be drafted, and after COVID, I feel like being in that depressed stage, like I don't know, I kind of lost the love for the sport, and that's why I stopped playing this year in college. I was committed to play at Western New England, and when I got there, I feel like I was overwhelmed with school and baseball. But
Do
that's
you
about
think
it.
like being like isolated from like a lot of people and only being in like around your family, like do you think that kind of caused like do you think that was like what stemmed?
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't able to practice as much. I played baseball year round before, and being active every single day. I think it was 6 days a week we had baseball practice, and going from 6 days to 0 days, and like not being able to do anything outside, playing with your cousins or doing any of that stuff. Like me and my cousin Tyler next door, we couldn't even see each other. Like we used to practice every day too
Yeah.
when we weren't playing, but after the or when COVID happened, like I don't know, not playing every day, I felt like I didn't really need it anymore in my
Mm.
life. But
Yeah. Do you do you think there are any specific barriers like with like transportation, time? I know you said anxiety that like prevent you because of COVID from being more social.
mm, not really. I've never been an outgoing person. I never really liked to talk to people, but I feel like it's kind of helped me to talk to more people working for dad. I have to go out and talk to the contractors and kind of set our game plan for the day and just be able to communicate better. But
How was like the transition? Because after when everything kind of went back to in person for everything, you went from being 15 to 17.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How was how like how difficult was that from like kind of being confined for basically like 2 years and then kind of being like thrown back into it, expecting everything to be how it used to be?
Yeah. I don't really know how to answer that, really.
I can move on to a different question if that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Um, Now that after like COVID has happened, like, do you prefer to meet people through like digital means or face-to-face activities?
Face to face, I don't like online stuff. I feel like you can't really see what they're about and you can't really get their energy by being on the phone. Like
Yeah.
it's totally different. You could like a person online like a lot, and then you get in person and you just don't connect at all,
Yeah.
which isn't something I like to do. I like to meet people in person.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming up with some questions right now.
Okay.
Give me a second. If you have more, go ahead.
Okay.
Just
Um, what type of social activities would you be more interested if they were available during like COVID or now?
Golfing for sure. I've fallen in love with golf in the past 2 years. I play it 5 times a week now. Like I wish I could have played it in high school, but during COVID, I mean, it was 2.5 years of my high school career, and it just affected everything. Like going out and doing what you want, I guess. Wearing a face mask all over the place.
Yeah. How has your social life like impacted like your mental or physical well-being recently?
Um, I feel like my mental health has gotten better since talking to people, just being more open about my mental health. And I don't know, communicating is better than leaving it, then gets it out of your system. And kind of like it's like an exit point, like everything just releases.
So you would say the more social you are, like your mental health is better.
Yeah.
What would you say about like your physical well-being?
Um, yeah, I mean, I go to the gym to release a lot of my like anger and like stress and all that stuff. So I feel like going to the gym just kind of like my getaway point. Like a lot of people read, I guess,
Yeah.
but mine's just going to the gym.
Yeah.
I have a question. What it was the biggest challenge or is the biggest challenge making friends as an adult?
Um, I would say not being around people your age all the time. Like I feel like I'm around people like 40 or 50 years older now. Like I feel like that's hard to create friends when I'm 20 and they're 20 years older than I am. It's kind of a challenge. You kind of got to go out of your way after work and find those people.
Hmm. Let's see.
What do you think would help improve your sense of connection with others?
I would say actually going out and doing what I've been saying. Like I would like myself to get out of the house after work or even after the gym. Like maybe go to Portsmouth or something, hang out with a couple friends and get to know more people.
So do you think you would utilize like a tool maybe that like you put all your interests in and almost like the same setup as like a dating app would be, but it's or like I don't know if you've used LinkedIn before, but kind of like that where you put all your interests in, put your information, and it shows a bunch of like events, like say like you were saying like golfing or like they do like something with like physical activity where other people sign up to go to those events. You see all the people and there's like group chats
Yeah,
or talk to other people. Is that something you think like at this age, especially working with people a lot older than you, your
yeah,
friends
definitely.
you would utilize that?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's a great way to communicate with people, get what you're looking for.
Yeah. Do you think that'll also like kind of like improve like or make you feel comfortable like interacting with people socially?
Yeah, because it sounds like it's an app where you try to find people with the same interests as you. I feel like communication's better that way.
Yeah.
But I've
Um,
used a couple dating apps, so I feel like it's helped a little bit.
I have you ever felt pressure to socialize in a certain way?
Um, yeah, I would say yeah. I, sometimes like you're really not connecting with somebody and you kind of like lie your way out of the situation. Just try to like not be mean, just kind of like fight your way out of it, but in the nice way.
Mm. And hold on one second. How do you navigate conflicts and misunderstandings in social situations? I guess that's the same situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would kind of do the same thing. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of put stuff together, I guess.
All right.
Not a great communicator, so it's just trying to get my way out of this conversation if I am not interested in it, I guess.
Okay.
How would you describe like how some of your like relationships in your life like changed after like the pandemic, like from before to during and after?
Yeah, I had a girlfriend at the start of COVID, and I feel like we kind of grew away from each other as COVID was dying out because we were kind of locked in a like it was kind of still in COVID and we weren't like being able to get out of the house and stuff. So we were always together, like in a small space, not being around other people a lot, trying to get away. Like and do like nature hikes and all that stuff. But we kind of grew away as COVID was happening because we got back with our friend groups, but just stuff like that. Yes.
Um, I don't know if we've asked this, I'm trying to see, but what qualities do you value most in your friendships or social circles?
I'd definitely say trust. I like trust. I don't know. Because I've had a lot of people that I haven't been able to trust. They've stabbed me in the back a couple times, and I just feel like I don't know. I have a hard time with trust, with even in like relationships.
Do you feel like how do you feel like you can build trust through like your social life and like communication?
Time. I feel like trust is all about time, and like I don't know, you're gonna gotta figure out who the person is and what their past is, and maybe they can grow through their past, but there's always a past, and I feel like if they did it once, they can do it again. So
I don't think I have any more questions. I think the meeting ends in 3 minutes because it's time for 40 minutes.
Okay.
Um, Jennifer, do you have any more questions?
Um, one more. What impact do you think your upbringing has had on your social preferences and habits?
can you say that again?
Yeah. What impact do you think your upbringing has had on your social preferences and habits?
Um, Definitely my father. I feel like he's had a great impact on how I am today. Like I kind of try to reflect off of him, and because he's a very successful person and great father to us. I feel like I want to be like him. I just want to, I don't know, find what he did well and what he did wrong and correct them.
Mhm. 1 second.
Do you have any other questions though, Jennifer?
No, I don't.
Well, thank you, Alex, for
Yep.
us and doing this interview with us. We really appreciate it and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, do you want to stop